Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster3, and it's time for yet another update video. I figured, I still have some things that I'm currently waiting for in the mail, but I just thought for myself, might as well do this before it just turns out to be one of those really long update videos. So this is probably not going to be as long as the previous one, but still I was decided to make it this, right now instead. So yeah, whatever. So this time around, there's only one VHS tape. But it's the VHS release of a film called Open House from 1987. And this has Adrian Barbeau in it. And this is also directed by the guy who directed, what was that film called again? The not Haunted Wii, what was that other film? I'm now just completely blacked out. What was that other film called again? Yeah, whatever. I'm aware of the director. I've seen more of his other films before, but Jag Mundra, I believe his name is. So, and I think this is yet another film that has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. But this is in really great condition. If you just take a look at it, sometimes it just looks really horrendous with some of these older ones, but looks really great. And the tape itself looks like it's almost like it's brand new, actually, like there. So, yeah, the previous owner obviously had took good care of it. Not that I'm gonna do that because it seems like I'm just gonna fail just holding this, but anyway, yeah, Open House. It's not the greatest slasher film in the world, but it is what it is. So yeah. Now, like usual, we continue with the DVDs, and first up are the non-horror DVDs, and then I'm gonna go through the horror DVDs, and then I'm gonna go to the box sets, and then I'm gonna end it with the Blu-rays. So yeah. First up, we have a film called The Survivors from the early 80s, 1983, with Robin Williams and Walter Matthau. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Some sort of comedy. I've never seen before, but it's 80s and I do like the actors in it. So yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up. And then we have a film which could be, this really feels relevant to the whole like COVID-19 situation we had in 2020. But yeah, the movie Outbreak. Not seen the film myself yet, but just by reading about it, it feels eerily similar to that. But yeah, Outbreak, not seen before, but heard some really good things about that one. I don't really care for the snap cases. They kind of like get stuck in between, like whenever you're like sorting out your collection. So yeah, whatever. But anyway, then we have the next snap case or whatever, and that's the film called Practical Magic, which I've been hunting for quite a while. This always seems to go for stupid prices, but I got it for a pretty decent price at that. And I know for a fact that I said that I didn't care too much for Sandra Bullock as an actress, but I've really come around to that, and I think she's been in some really entertaining films. So yeah, really looking forward to see this one. This is still some sort of like fantasy comedy type film, I believe. So yeah, Practical Magic. That's just what I assume because magic in the title. Damn it. Then we have some of those midnight movies double features. In this one we have The Wild Angels and Hell's Bells. Now the Wild Angels I had in another release. I think that was like a Studio S release, a Swedish release. And I think that was like okay for what it was. Like biker films are like sort of like, yeah, whatever, they can be really bad, but then they can also be somewhat decent. Hell's Bells I've never seen before, and that was the main reason why I wanted to get a hold of this. So yeah, Hell's Bells and The Wild Angels. And we have the other one in that, another midnight movies double feature, the Miniskirt Mob, and the Chrome and Hot Leather. Right there, more biker films for you all. So yeah. Then we have a film with Antonio Banderas and Jennifer Connelly called Of Love and Shadows. Some sort of drama thriller type film. So yeah, I think this was this like mid 90s. Yeah. Then we have the Tron, the original classic, the one from the 80s. I was not really interested in the newer one until I watched the first one, or like the original one. I've actually never seen this one before, but it's from 1982, and apparently this was really groundbreaking when it came out, when it came to like effects and stuff. So yeah, Tron. I think the reboot or remake, whatever you want to call it, is called Tron Legacy, I believe. Then we have a film called True Vengeance, some sort of martial art type film from the late 90s. What does it say? 1997. So yeah. Yeah, looks pretty cool on the front cover and all like that. So looks like some really fun, cheesy fun. Then we have yet another 90s film. I mean, there's lots of 90s films in this updated videos. Can't think about that, but yeah, whatever. So the next film is a film called Article 99. Apparently some sort of like conspiracy theory type film. This one has Ray Liotta and Kiefer Sutherland in it. And I do believe Forrest Whitaker as well in this one. So Leah Thompson, damn. This just gets better and better. Yeah, I should have said something else about that, but I just completely blacked out. Like you probably said, like I was just looking like this on the screen. So the next one we have a not horror film, a war film, or like a war action film called Phantom Soldiers. Apparently, I think this was made in the Philippines, and usually when action films or war films in general take place in the Philippines, I'm always like interested in that, because some of them have been really, really great. I mean, not really, really great, but they've been really entertaining. That's what I wanted to say. So, yeah, Phantom Soldiers. Then we have this one, which I couldn't even find on IMDb. Maybe this is just like a pilot or something for like a TV series. I have no idea. You have to help me on this if you can. But The Master Ninja. I mean, it runs for, according to this DVD, this runs for 90 minutes, which feels a little bit too long for maybe like a pilot. But yeah, I'm just confused. I couldn't find this on IMDb. And then we have some sort of like a miniseries, like animated miniseries, I believe. Maybe not miniseries, let's see, 3-disc set. It doesn't say if it's like the whole, I mean, it doesn't say how many seasons, maybe it's just like one season, but it's really, really long. But some series called Virus, right there. Sorry for the glare, but that's what it happens sometimes, but yeah. Then we have this one. This is a Martin Scorsese film called Gangs of New York, which I have watched before. I thought it was okay, but I was thinking for myself, maybe I'll appreciate it more now when I'm older. I just remember it being really, really long. Let's see, what is it saying? 160 minutes, yeah. A little bit too long for my liking when it comes to like films in general. I mean, yeah, but anyway, I do remember I thought this was still decent enough. So yeah, Gangs of New York. Then we have this one, which I've only heard good things about, and sadly I've never seen it myself yet, but it's the film called There Will Be Blood. And apparently this is a really strange looking release. If you can look at this, if you kind of like draw this out, and then you have like the disc like inside right there. I've never seen a release like this before. That's very strange. I'm not really sure what was up with that, but yeah. Then we have a Japanese like drama comedy type film, I believe, called Adrift in Tokyo, right there, with what's his name, Joe Odogari, which I do recognize that name, but I don't know from where. I think it was in the first Asumi film, but yeah, Adrift in Tokyo. Damn, did you see that? I almost dropped it. Then we have an action film. I mean, I thought this was like a horror film at first, but then I saw like the actor on the front cover and like I think I have at least 2 other films with the exact same title, but it's the film called Blood Moon with Gary Daniels, like another late 90s action film. This is a really strange looking release. I believe this is like, yeah, this is a Korean release. I'm not really sure if you can see that on the back right there, but yeah, Blood Moon. And then we have some classics right here, which I've unfortunately not seen yet either. The Maltese Falcon with Humphrey Bogart. Humphrey Bogart and Mary Astor. Right there. That one I've only heard really good things about. And then we have this one, which my mother like, oh, can you find this for me? I'm like, yeah, no problem. It's the classic film Sunset Boulevard, which I've never seen yet either. And I think this is from the 50s. It says this is from 1950, so yeah. Then we have this one. I'm so glad I found this one. I mean, I only have 2 more, I believe, to find in this series, and then I have the complete like movie series or whatever. But this one is, let's see, what is that on the front cover? Oh, it's actually part of the front cover. Down. Ernest Saves Christmas, which now I only have Ernest Writes Again, which seems to be impossible to get a hold of. And also Slam Dunk Ernest. Those are the only 2 Ernest films I have yet to get. But I think this is really fun and hilarious film. I mean, Ernest is like, some people say he's like a little bit over the top for his own good, but I mean, I'd still prefer Ernest over Pee Wee Herman. I think Pee Wee is a little bit overrated, but that's just my personal taste, of course. But anyway, Ernest Saves Christmas. Not really sure not sure why I took that. I talked about him as well, like Pee Wee Herman. Now he's completely lost track. Let's move on before I just like mess up even more. Then we have the film called Devils 3, Pay or Die. And this is yet another like Filipino action film, I believe. And this is a Code Red release as well. They are very hard to come across. Apparently this release also is really hard to come across. According to the guy who sold this to me, this is really, really rare. Apparently they released this release and then they got some troubles with like the rights and stuff, and then they just like pulled it in or something. Not sure if that's true or not, but I mean I do trust that seller, because I've bought plenty of films from him before. Yeah, I mean anything Filipino action type stuff I usually pick up. So yeah, The Devil's 3. And there's also an extra plus just because it's a Code Red release and I do collect those. So yeah. Now you can almost see that stack right here. Let's move this over here instead. Right there. And then we have Mondo Macabre release. I'm not really sure how much I can show of this, but yeah, whatever. Silip, Daughters of Eve. Some sort of like a drama, thriller, sleaze type stuff, I believe. I believe this is yet another one from the... is this from the Philippines? Or yeah, according to the back of this, it's a Filipino production. Sometimes I confuse that with the Indonesian films. I don't really understand why, but yeah. Then we have a Japanese film called 3D Kanojo, Real Girl, Live Action, the movie. What is going on? This cover art is just so weird and so strange. That's probably the main reason why I picked it up. Yeah, whatever. Really strange. Let's see here. Then we have a film called Connor's War. Right here. This is pretty much like a blind buy. Some sort of like mid-2000s action film. Can be good, could be bad. You never know. Yeah. I'm not really sure why, but Nia Peebles? For some reason I just assumed that she's probably like a sister to Maria van Peebles, but I think that's not true. Then we have the film called The Finest Hour with Rob Lowe. I've seen this one. This is kind of cheesy in its own way. It really tries to be like patriotic and like cool, but it's a little bit silly as well. But it still has enough charm for it to be a decent film, I would say. So yeah, The Finest Hour. Apparently, according to Rob Lowe, he almost died while making this film because he did a really a good stunt, but a really dangerous stunt at that. When he was like behind like a boat and he was almost like stuck into the propeller, like almost dying. Yeah, that's a really strange thing. I mean, that would have been really sad if he died in this film. If he died for real life while making this film. Damn, I can't speak today. Then we have a film a film with Burt Lancaster called The Kentuckian, Western film apparently. If you look at that, I believe it is. Yeah, probably. But this one I know for sure is a Western film, and it's the film called The Lost Outlaw. This is a made-for-TV Western film from the 90s with Mickey Rourke and Dermot Mulroney right there. You can see them there on the front cover, I believe. So yeah. Then we have a Swedish film which I have no idea what it's called in English, because I think this is a very obscure film even in Sweden. Because I've seen this film go for really crazy money sometimes. So yeah, and it's the movie called The Cat Letters. That's pretty much what it says on the front cover if I just translate that Swedish title into English. Yeah, looks like a really fun little family film from the early 2000s, so I thought, well, why not? Then we have a film called, one from the 80s called The January Man, right there, with Kevin Kline, Susan Sarandon, Mary Elizabeth Mastroiannigo, Hervé Keitel, Danielo, and Rod Steiger. The January Man, yeah. Then we have yet another 90s film. This is a drama mystery film from 1993 called Flesh and Bone, with Dennis Quaid, James Caan, and Meg Ryan right there. So yeah, looks pretty interesting. Then we have I think this is yet another one of those films that takes place in... Yeah, this has to be a Filipino production because it's directed by Eddie Romero, and the movie is called White Force right there. And this is an Australian release, like you can probably tell by that logo down there. Yeah, I've already told you why I like the. I mean, I really like those type of Filipino action films in general. So yeah. And the last one for this stack right here is a film called A Slipping Down Life. Looks like some drama film from the early 2000s, and yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up. Sounds quite interesting. So surprisingly, there weren't too many horror films in this update video, but yeah, whatever. The first one is a film called Scherzo Diabolico, which is a Mexican horror film, or like horror comedy more, I believe, from 2015. So yeah, heard some good things about this one. And then we have the film called The Beast of the Alamo, right there. Pretty stupid cover up, but at the same time it's quite effective. And it's kind of like contradictory to what I've just stated, but still, sometimes there's really those cover arts that you can't really decide if you like them or not. Then we have a film which I picked up because of the title, because the title sounds really, really awesome. Corpse Mania, a Shaw Brothers production. So yeah. There. Then we have this film which I have seen before. For some reason I think this was never released on DVD or Blu-ray because of... I think it's basically because people deemed this as like a complete rip-off on the original Exorcist. But so this is sort of like the blaxploitation version of that. But it's the film called Abby, right there. And this is actually... I've actually checked that this is actually a bootleg. But this was the only way I could get a hold of this film. This is a really, really fun and entertaining film. It's like, I'm not sure if it's meant to be serious or not, but there's some really hilarious and funny scenes in that film in general, so yeah. Then we have a Japanese horror film from the 90s called The Baptism of Blood, right there, which I've heard some really controversial things about. Then we have the film that came out a couple of years ago, which I think someone told me that this was similar to A Lost House on the Left, but I'm not really sure. The movie called Men, which I think it was like 2 years ago or something. Of course, it doesn't say on the back. I can't seem to find it anyway. 2022, I believe. Then we have this one, which I've only heard terrible, terrible things about. But I thought for myself, I want to judge for myself and see if this is as bad as people describe. It's the April Fool's Day remake. I really enjoyed the first one. I know some people are... That film feels like it's almost like divided into two camps, but either you really, really despise the original film because of the ending, or you think, oh, that was actually pretty clever, like I thought the first time I watched it. But yeah, I mean, this looks pretty horrendous just by the way I've looked at the trailers and like images and stuff, but I'm still gonna give it a chance. So yeah, April Fool's Day. Then we have, not really sure why this ended up in the horror section, but yeah, whatever. Unnatural Causes, some sort of mystery film. This is complete blind buy. I have no idea what it's all about, but yeah, 2006 apparently. Is that even the original title? Yeah, Unnatural Causes. Yeah. Then we have a film which I think was at some point like deemed as one of the very earliest like slasher films, I believe. This is from, I mean, if you don't count Psycho, but yeah, whatever. This is the film from 1973 called Wicked, released by the Archive Collection, Warner Archive Collection, yeah. Then we have these two. These are like double packs of two films. Damn, had some music there. I accidentally used. Wow, it's just crazy in this update video. I can't do anything without messing up. So this is the double pack of the films called Don't Ring the Doorbell and Eat and Run. Now Eat and Run I already had it before in on DVD. I think this is a very underrated film which no one really talks about. It kind of feels like a trauma film, to be honest. So the main reason why I picked up this one was obviously because of Don't Ring the Doorbell, because it looks like some sort of like monkey attack type of film based on that cover art right there. But yeah, whatever. Then we have the other double pack right here with the films The Giant Spider Invasion and Demon Under Glass, right there, for short focus, damn it. So the only one I've seen in this one is The Giant Spider Invasion, which I think is a really fun low-budget B-movie from the 70s, I believe. The other one I haven't seen yet before, so yeah, looking forward to see that one, and looking forward to rewatch the Giant Spider Invasion, so yeah. And then we have some box sets. The first box set right here is the Vamps box set, 4 movies box set. which includes, let's see, Vampire Stakes from 2002, Vulture's Eye from 2004, Abomination, The Evil Maker 2 from 2003, and a film called The Darkness from 2003. Now, I have no idea why they decided to include like Abomination, The Evil Maker 2, but they just didn't decide to include part 1. Like, why would you put that in like in a box set then? That's just really stupid in my personal opinion. But these seems to be really low budget, like early 2000s, like trash in general. Sometimes they can be really hilariously fun, and sometimes they can be really, really bad. So yeah. Then we have the next box set, or like, I'm not sure if we're gonna call it like a box set, but it's the Fruits Basket, the complete series. I've heard a little bit about this one, what it's all about, and it seems quite fascinating to me. So this is from the early 2000s, I believe. And then we have this one. This is apparently also pretty rare to come across these days. This is like some really weird, sleazy, disturbing type collections of films. Angel Guts, right there, which includes High School Co-ed, Red Classroom, Nami, Red P. No, I'm just gonna say P. No because I don't want to get flagged. It starts with P. It starts with P. I don't really know how to describe it without being like demonetized. But anyway, a Red Vertigo is also in here. You probably saw that. I mean, I might as well just show you that so you can judge for yourself, because I'm not sure if I can say that. But there's all the titles right there. So yeah, apparently some really sleazy and disturbing films from the 70s, or yeah, whatever, from Japan. And then we have the last box set right here is the Creature Feature triple feature. Creature Feature triple feature. Right here, which includes Gargoyle's Revenge, which I think I might have had before. And then we have a film called Deadly Swarm and Snakehead Terror right here. And I can actually show you the front covers of some of these. First we have the Gargoyle's Revenge right here. That's a strange looking cover art. Then we have the Deadly Swarm right here. And then the last one, of course, is the Snakehead Terror right there. I have a soft spot for some of those like Anchor Bay releases in general, like I've said before. So, and you don't really come across them very often these days anyway, so I thought it was really good price as well for this one. For the longest time when I saw this for sale like years ago, I didn't realize this was like a creature feature, and I only saw the front cover. So of course this is like the eye of some sort of creature, but at first I thought that was just some weird donut. But yeah, whatever. Now finally we're at the Blu-rays. The first one in this stack is the film called The Rachel Papers, which I've never seen before, but apparently this is like a late 80s classic, which I have not seen before. Something that I think is very strange about this particular release, though, is that this is like a Blu-ray, but on the back, if you can see right here, it says like Region 1, which you usually put for your like for your DVDs. So I have no idea why they decided to have, I mean, the globe or whatever on the Blu-ray. Usually it's like the ABC or whatever, like, or A or B, or like, depending on what type of region on Blu-ray it is, but yeah, whatever. Then we have yet another, let's see, Code Red release right there. And it's the film called Don't Tell Her It's Me. Some sort of comedy from the early 90s. Thought it looked quite interesting and fascinating, so yeah, that's the reason why I picked it up, but mainly it was because it was a Code Red release. Then we have this one, which I'm so glad I found finally. I've had this on VHS for quite some time, and I've rewatched it so many times that it feels like the tape is almost about to die. And it's the movie Dudes from the 1987, I believe. This is with John Cryer and Daniel Roebuck, who playing these like two buddies. Like you can probably tell, I can't speak for shit today. I have no idea why. But I mean, if you do like some of those like comedies from the 80s in general, I mean, this kind of feels like it's almost like a little bit like ahead of its time, because it has a strange, like almost like a 90s vibe to it as well, which I can't really put my fingers on why, but yeah, Dudes. I mean, if you haven't seen this one, go watch it. It's really hilarious and really fun. Then we have a horror film with Vincent Price, of course, called The Tingler from the late 50s, right there. And then we have like a sort of like a double pack or whatever, Third Window Films, and you know it's going to be like some Japanese stuff. The weird and wonderful world of Ujicha, Violence Voyager, and Burning Buddha Man, right here. And that's how it looks like on the back. Not really sure how well you can see that. And then you have how it looks like underneath the slipcover or whatever. So yeah, whatever. Looks quite interesting. Then we have a film released by 88 Films, and it's the film called Magic Cop, some Hong Kong action from the early 90s, I believe, 1990 to be exact. Different type of cover art right there. Sorry for the glare, but this is the best I can do at the moment. And then we have a, I think this is yet another like 90s horror film. This is a, I'm not sure if this is Spanish or if it's Italian, but it's the film called Hernencia Diabolica, I believe. Sorry, my language barrier right there, I can't just speak that. Then we have the last film for this update is going to be the film called Terror in a Texas Town. Some sort of noir western film. I mean, noir and westerns, you don't really hear that, those type of genres like mixed into one film, but that sounds quite fascinating to me. So yeah, Terror in a Texas Town. So that's it for the update video. I'm sorry that I kept like messing up. I was just constantly like, not really sure why. It's probably because I'm just so tired, and yeah, might as well just go to bed and sleep for 1 hour or so. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this particular update video. And I'm not really sure what the next video is going to be about. Maybe like another like review video, maybe like another ranking video. There was something else I was thinking about that I should have made, like another type of video, but I just completely forgot about it. But like you can probably tell, my brain isn't working very well this day. So yeah, whatever. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.